The best team in football has a quarterback.
Yeah.
And that quarterback is Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy was the last pick in the draft, went to Iowa State, played all 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't look like an elite quarterback. He doesn't give the aura off of an elite quarterback. He doesn't have the swag of an elite quarterback.
Right.
So I asked Ish, is Brock Purdy elite or is he a product of Shanahan?
You know, Brock, I really hate it had to be you for real. Like, because last week this was a conversation too for real. It was like, man, he just ripped his San Fran defense apart. Is he really like? It was they was writing articles like, is he Tom Brady? Is he Joe Montana? Like, is he John Elway? Steve Young? Man, when CMC jogged into that locker room and Debo couldn't come back, I saw what I needed to see. And listen, Purdy, I'm sorry. It's not your fault for real. You didn't put yourself on this pedestal. But he's just a guy, bro. He's a good quarterback. He makes good reads. He has solid fundamentals. He can make great. He can make all. He's a prototypical Kyle Shanahan quarterback. Mm-hmm. I would say he's a lesser Matt Ryan or just a regular pocket passer who things are going right, looks great. Mm-hmm. I think he's a lot closer to Kirk Cousins than he is Joe Burrow. Mm-hmm. And that was the problem people were having where niggas was like, man, you got to look at the numbers. It's like, all right. So he's top 3 in the league. And the people be like, whoa, no, he's not that. It was like, okay, it's one or the other. You can't tell me, look at his numbers, he never loses. Okay, he's good. No. If we looking at the numbers, he's the second best quarterback alive. But we know he's not that. And when Bro went down, and of course, shout out to the Browns defense. Really great defense.
The best defense in football, actually, right now. Isn't
yeah,
that crazy?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Browns.
Shout out to the Browns.
And Deshaun Watson.
Shout out to Sean.
Hey.
Calling out of work fully guaranteed. That's my type of
He stole my bag, boy.
I'm telling you, that's my bag, bro.
Stole my bag, boy.
But
I'm not stealing yours, though.
Nasty
ass
no,
nigga.
you got it, bro. That's your bag for real. But I forget the number, bro. I think he completed 3 passes before that last drive after they went out. Like the whole game, you completed 3 passes. And even the last
It was
drive,
the second half. He completed
the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And like, bro, the last drive, everybody's like, man, he led them down the field, fam. That nigga threw an out route to Ayuk and 3 Browns stopped, rallied, and didn't tackle him. That's literally all it was. They broke down to make the tackle and just nobody did. It was like when you trying to walk through the hallway and everybody's like, yeah, you do it. You do it. Like, it was literally that. He played awful the entire game after the MVP, possibly best player in the league other than Mahomes, went out. Shout out Christian McCaffrey, who I think he scored their own. Was that their only touchdown? I know it was Brock's only touchdown.
Yeah, it was their only touchdown, I
Yeah,
believe.
The 49ers didn't deserve to win that game. And Brock Purdy is not an elite quarterback. And that's okay. Niggas, I was calling him elite, top 10, top 5, best quarterback in the NFC, all that. Let's cut it out. What's so frustrating for me is we've seen this movie before. Like, how many times do we have to see it? Like, how many times do we have to repeat especially on this show, we repeat the list all the time. RG3, Rookie of the Year. Matt Schaub, Pro Bowler. Matt Ryan, MVP and Super Bowl. Jimmy G, NFC Championship, Super Bowl. He's a tip pass away from a Super Bowl champion. And now Brock Purdy. He's just another guy in the... Like, Kyle Shanahan is who Arthur Smith think he called plays like. Kyle Shanahan really that dude. Where if you're an okay quarterback, good fundamentals, you can make the read, we might be able to win a Super Bowl with you because everything around you is going to be that good. But Brock Purdy's not the guy where, dang, Travis Kelce out. Dang, Tyreek Hill out. Dang, Stephon Diggs can't play. All right, we be all right. No. He is not that guy. He is, oh, man, Chris McCaffrey out. All right, we're going to throw 9 screens this quarter. Like, I got to get the ball out his hands because it's just not there.
Okay. So, I hear you and I understand you. But I have a different perspective to come from.
Okay.
So, since Brock Purdy took over, they are 13-1. Right. Up until 2 days ago, they were 13-0. Mm-hmm. The only game that they lost when Brock Purdy started was a game he did not finish. So, every game he started and finished, they were 13-0. In that 13 games, He has 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So he doesn't turn the ball over. Last week, he threw his first interception. Last week, they played in the rain. Mm-hmm. I don't want that to go under the radar and how hard it is to throw and play in the rain. They played the best defense in football so far statistically. Mm-hmm. And he lost his 2 best offensive weapons.
Facts.
So I asked the question, is Brock Purdy elite? And the first elite quarterback you think of is Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. And in this conversation, we're going to take Mahomes and we're going to throw him as far away as from this conversation as we can because nobody is Mahomes. Yeah. Nobody is on his level, not Joe Burrow, not Josh Allen, not Jalen Hurts, not Lamar Jackson. Right. Nobody is on the mountain Mahomes is in until further notice.
Yeah, nobody knows what the air on that mountain tastes like.
Exactly. Like you know when you draw like the little squiggly line mountains, there's always one of the highest. That's the one Mahomes is on. The rest of them on this other one, a little bit below him. So now when I'm looking at the other elite quarterbacks, and I'm talking Jalen Hurts, I'm talking Josh Allen, I'm talking Lamar Jackson, I'm talking Justin Herbert. Those are Joe Burrow, of course. We throw those guys in there as elite. Brock Purdy, as a quarterback, he doesn't turn the ball over, ever. He is accurate. We just spoke about how Desmond Ridder cannot throw every route on the passing tree. Mm-hmm. Brock Purdy can. He can throw the deep ball. He can throw the intermediate. He will throw the shallow route. He will take what is open every single play.
Right.
He runs what is called, and he executes almost to perfection.
Facts.
Since he has been playing, he is also leading all quarterbacks in passer rating. And I say all that to say that's elite football. And I know it doesn't look like it. Mm. And I know he don't look like an elite quarterback. And his zip on the ball doesn't seem as an elite quarterback. But if you have only had elite production, elite numbers, and elite touchdown to interception ratio, I can only say, yo, you're an elite. I can say, yes, you're an elite with an asterisk beside it. Of course there's an asterisk beside it. 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
But I am willing to sit and say, hey, maybe he is. Right. Because I'm looking at Josh Allen, and Josh Allen, anybody watching this, unless you don't know football, if you don't know football, you're watching this, shout out to you. But if you know football, you're watching this, you know Josh Allen is an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
But he is inconsistent.
Facts.
And he is turnover prone.
True.
Justin Herbert, he is a bad leader. He cannot win in the clutch. Mm-hmm. Miami couldn't get a field goal.
True.
Tennessee, 3-and-out on overtime, lost the game. Last night, couldn't get a field goal.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy, worst game of his career, walks right down, gets a field goal.
That's true.
So these elite quarterbacks have these flaws that Brock Purdy doesn't have. Mm. And what have we seen Brock Purdy's flaw be? We haven't seen one. So now I'm asking you, if Josh Allen is on San Francisco, and he's 13-0 in his last 13, he's at 26 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, we're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, oh my God. Jalen Hurts, oh my God. But because Brock Purdy is in 6'4" and 220 and don't got a little bit more zip on his ball, we can't say he's elite.
Okay.
And now, as I said, there is an asterisk on that. Because we have to see the rest of the season play out. And we have to see him come playoff time against an elite defense in playoff time after 17 games of film, last year's film. We have to see it. But for right now, I say yes with an asterisk because he hasn't given me any reason to believe he's not, other than he's short.
Okay. I think it's fair to say this is his first one. But I will also say if he's elite, that can't happen. 89 yards the entire game.
100%. If that happens 2 times, 3 more times this year, over with.
Yeah, because the names we listed, because listen, that Browns defense is amazing. You know, Lamar gave him 2 touchdowns, crazy work, gave him the dunk, 27 points. You know, without George Kittle, without Trent Williams, because I know that, CMC was out, Debo was out, Deshaun Watson was out, Nick Chubb didn't play. Like, he got outplayed by a backup quarterback.
He did. He did.
And the San Fran, what the thing with San Fran that was so like it kind of jumped out was they still had all pros on the field. Like George Kittle was still on the field. Mm-hmm. Trent Williams eventually came back. I don't know if Trent Williams is back 100%, but just I think it's fair to say let's give him a couple more. Mm-hmm. But I definitely it was
eye-opening performance.
It was definitely a red flag. I'll say that.
100%.
He hasn't had any red flags yet.
Mm-hmm. And that was his first one.
Yeah.
And I would say the last example I would give is Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts doesn't have the best arm in the world.
Right.
He had to really work to improve his accuracy. Mm-hmm. But the reason we were calling Jalen Hurts an elite quarterback by week 8, week 10, which last year was his first really good season, his first MVP caliber season. He had an amazing team around him, amazing defense, amazing pass rush, best offensive line in the league, top 4 receiving core, a really good running back punch. Yeah. A lot of the reason we called him elite was because of his intangibles and because of who he is off the field and in that locker room. And I kind of think Brock Purdy has that same effect. We just don't see it because he doesn't have the aura Jalen Hurts has. He's not as cool as Jalen Hurts, so it's not going to pop off the screen. But if you see how these players talk about him, how they rally around him, how Kyle Shanahan trusts him, the way they communicate, it's different than anything we've seen with any other San Francisco 49ers, and I think there's a reason for that. Yeah. So, again, this remains to be seen, but I can't say no right now.